exciting episode of Unacademy channel. This is your educator Uday Shankar, and I welcome you on today's topic about 5 tips. That is exactly 5 tips on writing. How to improve your writing in 5 ways. That's today's topic. And before we start, do not forget to subscribe to this channel and click on the bell icon, because that's where you're getting a lot of notification and updates about all other upcoming courses. Right? And also like this video and share this video, because sharing is improving the knowledge. Sharing is directly multiplies the knowledge and can come back to you in a much more multiplied way. So don't forget that. And if you have any queries, if the time is not sufficient and if the class is ending it, right? If I'm ending up the course today, if you don't have much time, if we don't have much time to interact, do not worry. Please do comment on this below. I will definitely come back to these videos and solve each and every query and concern. So what this whole idea is about, we should not leave any doubts with us. But keeping our doubts intact inside us is so bad that it can grow up into much more bigger problem, and without even you knowing, it can convert into a bigger concern where you cannot dilute that habit and come out of it in the examination point of view. So don't keep your doubts with you. It might be a silliest doubt, or it might be very simple doubt. It might be commonly known to everybody, but it's your doubt. Take your ownership, stand apart, stand above, and ask it. Ask it, just ask it. If you don't seek help, help will not seek you. Seek for help and help will definitely find you. With saying that, let's move on to today's topic. Let's start with today's class. Hey Pachu Yadav is asking the exact same thing, how to improve writing, and that's what we are going to discuss Pachu Yadav today. So let's start this class of 5 tips on IELTS writing. Basically, before we start everything, we all have a habit of doing some basic stuff, starting with some basic concepts and basic stuff, like what exactly we are dealing with. Writing is what? If I say writing is this and writing is that, writing to improve this, we have to do that, we have to do this for writing, but exactly what we are going to do. But if you know what is writing, then only we can do something. If I say, hey, biryani tastes so like this, and biryani is this, biryani is that, but how biryani is made? What is biryani? If you have never tasted it, if you have never known what is biryani, you will never understand what I am talking about in correlation with biryani. So basically, have the basic concepts and contexts very clear in front of you. Without that, it is very difficult for one to understand the whole contextual concepts and meaning of that concept. Understand this. It is not at all enough for you to just know what all the applications of it and how to solve the question paper. You will not be skillful. You will not be 100% skillful. You might be getting 1 or 2 questions solved also, but you will not be skillful. See, based on your question solving and based on the amount of questions you solve, doesn't matter for your preparation of IELTS, because in the examination you might be getting a new question again and again. So don't go with the questions, always go with the skills, because skills is the thing which is going to be with you, right? So on this note, let's crack it. What is writing? Writing is a medium of human communication. Yes, this is also a medium of human communication which represents the language with signs and symbols. Now when I say a communication, again, like we discussed in a lot more previous sessions, if you have joined my quick tips, communication is a bridge. Communication is a connection between you and the receiver. You are the propagator of ideas, and next person is the receiver of the idea. You have to make a bridge, form a bridge. That's where the first step of every language starts. If you want to really improve your coordination, if you want to really improve your approach and propagation of thoughts, start by communicating. Start by forming up a bridge. Start by making up that bridge bit by bit. Because if there is no connection in between, all the thoughts, all the flow, all the ideas will fall. There will be no propagation of the ideas. There will be no traveling. Their navigation will be incomplete. So communication matters. Communication and when I say communication doesn't matter in writing, write accordingly. Like many students have a habit of scribbling it out, making black marks when they have to cut it, or very improper way of writing. Communication is something that it needs to be understandable first. Then only your skills, your grammar, everything else is apart. At least by looking at that first, I need to understand that. If I will not understand it itself, it's not going to happen. If I will not get it, if I will be totally blank about it, it's not going to happen. So, basically communication do matters. And what communication, and the medium, say as I already told you, communication, if you want to communicate and propagate and you form the channel, you form the connection between the propagator and receiver, that needs a medium to travel. It will not travel through air, it will not travel through eyes, right? It needs a medium to travel, and that medium is your language. Through language, and when I say language, it has some signs and symbols. Right? It has some signs and symbols. See, basically the people who doesn't know English, for them it is just a symbol. This is just a sign, right? And this is just a sign. This might be just a symbol. But for the people who know English, these are called alphabets. And punctuation marks, question mark, we can name it. But for the people who doesn't know the language, there might be common term which we can use it for, that is signs and symbols. But when I say it's just for signs and symbols, what I really mean is if you communicate with that language, with signs and symbols, then again try to understand, it's your responsibility, your sole responsibility to use, to have all sorts of rules and regulations on that. You have to abide of all sorts of rules and regulations on a proper note, on a proper pitch. There is no way that you can say, hey, I cannot abide to this, I cannot abide to that. Nothing can be told like that. You have to do it, you have to abide to it, you have to make it a word. So, try to have it on mark, try to have it on point that language do represent with signs and symbols, and if I say you have to represent your language with signs and symbols, you have to follow and abide with all the rules and regulations. With this note, let's start with tips. And these are the essentials of writing. Do not forget your grammar, punctuation, sentence structure, because I don't want to miss any information while giving you something, right? So that's why. So stay tuned. Within seconds we will be going to that. Grammar is very important. Without grammar, that English you are using is formless. It doesn't have any form. Punctuations, it is meaningless. Sentence structure, it cannot be understandable. It cannot be propagated. Quick revise. Right. Here we are for what we needed. These are the tips, 5 tips, the golden 5 tips which is needed for you to have a better understanding of IELTS writing. So, yes Pachu, for your answer, how to improve writing? Question number 1. Tip number 1, question analysis. You need to analyze the question straight away before you pick up a pen and start thinking of writing the answer. I'm not asking you to write the answer and think. I'm asking you to think before you even pick up the pen. And what do you mean by this? Question analysis. Many students have seen this is a tip which has come out with analysis and feedback process. These tips are not something which is dragged out by some books or some websites. These are some analyzed tips which we are sharing with you. Question analysis is so important that if you do not get the question right, there are a lot of chances that you might end up answering the question very wrongly. And if you realize that yes, I have been approaching the questions very wrongly, at the 30th minute of the task 2, you just have more 10 minutes, that is 40 minutes to complete. Now tell me, if you can write 250 words again, just write it out and write 250 words again. Is it possible for you or not? It is nowhere possible for anybody. Not you, not me, anybody. Nobody can write 250 words in just 10 minutes. And even though you might be able to write it, this might not be an efficient way of representing your language. So, once you are fixed with the question, now you decide that yes, this is the question, this is what is the question will be looking like, and this is I understood whole of the meaning of it. go ahead and then start. I'm thinking about it at least. Right? Even before you analyze the question, do not write it. And even after you analyze the question, think about how to frame the words. I'll tell you one classic example. Say for example, there is a question which says the woman and the husband in the house should share the responsibility when there is a child, when there is a new member in the family, when there is a newborn kid, so that the balance is maintained in the professional family life. Comment on this. Here, if you go on and write about women empowerment, my friends, you are totally wrong. Here they are not asking for who is more dominant and what all the problems is faced by the women community, the deviations, the disorientations. They are not talking about that. They are asking you how we can support your answer by telling that we can share our loads basically between women and men. Right? And how we can do that efficiently. Will you support the answer or not? If you yes, then how can we go ahead and tell in a better way? These question analyses are so important that you might get around 8.5 very easily just by doing this question analysis, because if you don't get the question right, you might land up to 4 or 5 or 6 band also. That too, that will be just a grace. I'm not sure about 6 also, to be very frank. Moreover, going forward, your handwriting. Please, students, who are watching this, take it as a tip. Please improve your handwriting. IELTS is an international level of question and answer. IELTS is an international standard of testing system of English proficiency. IELTS is a very, very big standard to test your English applicativeness. So please, I request you to improve your handwriting. Do not give excuses like this is not important. There is no marking for this. This is not for marking, my friends. This is for communication. Writing is a part of your communication. Reading is a part of your communication. Speaking, listening, it's all a part of communication. When communication is there, understanding should be there. If that is not understandable, your writing is so wasted. If I don't understand your writing, it's not my responsibility as a reader to spend any extra minute over it to find out what should be the context, or what should be the phrase, or what should be the word. It's not my responsibility, my friends. It's also your responsibility. It's you who you have to decide and write responsibly. And there might be questions now that, hey, I am using a computer-based pen and paper writing. I don't want. Writing gives you consciousness. It gives you, yes, if you are very conscious about, yes, what am I writing? Your hand connects with your brain. While typing, yes, you do that. But while writing, if you are a professional who is working with a computer also, or you are going to take a IELTS based examination also, I request you to write at least 50 to 100 words every day before your examination. Write it. Your pen and your mind and your fingers should connect. Even though you type it, these things are important. Sometimes you might forget what the spelling is about, and sometimes there are scenarios where you have to write it down and think, okay, because these are all connected. Don't let your writing just fade away just because you are using your computers right now. Right? So hone it again, because framing is very difficult. When you lose your handwriting, your word formation, your framing, your phrases, understanding towards the reciprocation, towards other people, it's also totally difficult. It's all tough. Right? Then, the content knowledge. Let's find it out quickly. It's content knowledge. Whatever you write, my friends, whatever you write, it's very, very important for you to have that knowledge of content very, very intact. And why so? Why it is very important to have a content knowledge? You are a writer, you are penning down an idea about the global warming, say for example. If you are penning down an idea about global warming, why it is so necessary for you to write about the content properly? If I pick up this pen and I decide, hey, I need to write something today, and I write it and I publish it in any kind of social platform. Now, my creation has been propagated to millions of people. And if anybody is getting that context out of it, if anybody is referring that, he or she might be disoriented with this, or he or she might be manipulated wrongly with that. What am I trying to tell you is your content knowledge is so important that you hold a responsibility towards it to grow. My dear friends, if you think without a content knowledge you can write it and fill 150 words and 200 or 250 words in the writing passage, you are totally wrong. There are no way that you can just fill it up and show up and get away just saying that yes, you wanted me to write 150 words or 250 words, I am done. That's not the case IELTS will look like, or it will be looking into you in a way that it is totally illogical of whatever you have written. Because those examiners try to understand, they are very, very skillful and very experienced out of our bounds. They exactly know what you are trying to do. If there is any repetitiveness, if there is any same use of phrases and vocab is very weak and there is no logical connection, there is incomplete task, or there is no proper task response which is presented in your writing, surely my friends, you're going to lose marks. And how you have to improve this? How you will improve all these things? Just by improving your content knowledge. And how? Again the question comes, how? Sir, how I will improve my content knowledge? I don't know what question might be coming up in the IELTS examination. You are right. I'll answer you that. The IELTS examination, it is not always that they will be bringing out something out of the box. They don't do that actually, basically, if you see so. They actually focus on what is happening in the current scenario months ago, which has already happened, and after the months they believe that this is so propagated that everybody, every population, every inch of population, at least more than 95 to 98% of population will know about this topic. See, global warming, this, that, brainstorming, putting up a, and depletion of ozone layer, and this, I'm just telling you some general topics, or some political, or some gaming. These are all propagation of topics which is known by most of the people around the world. And this is not, the Unacademy will not take any responsibility if you don't share your part, don't improve your knowledge over it. That's not Unacademy's problem. It's your responsibility to improve your content knowledge by improving your current affairs, reading books, reading novels, reading newspapers, watching news. Get updated, keep updated, at least improve your content knowledge so that you can deliver it in a very beautiful way and your content will be so on pat. At least you can, if your grammar is weak, your vocab is weak, at least your task response and task completion will be on top. Think about it. Okay, let's go further. From the fourth point, we have editing skills. Whatever the mistakes we do, who is the first one to know about it? Not our mother, not our father, not our friends, not any other teacher. It's me, it's us, it's you. Before even you know and realize what is the mistake, you actually know that yes, this is a mistake. So try to correct yourself well ahead of time. Don't wait for any other people come and correct that yes, this is wrong and this is right. Lastly, plan accordingly, because whenever you are given a question, do not just pick up the pen and keep on writing. Plan it. Plan your introduction, plan your body, plan your conclusion, plan it, frame it, just like a building. An architecture just draws it. He doesn't go ahead and just starts construction. He just plans it, draws it, and then brings on his skills into it. Same way, my friends, just plan it, structurize it, and then frame the words into it, then pick up the pen and mail it. And I assure you that if you follow these tips, this 8.5 is not so far from you. If you have any concerns, any doubts regarding this type of 5 tips, do comment on this, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon so that you can get the updates, and also don't forget to like this video and share this video, right? So see you soon on tomorrow's class, that is on 4:30, on listening tips on 5 5 listening tips which will be very useful for you on IELTS. So tomorrow on 4:30 p.m. don't miss this class again on the same channel, same educator. Thank you so much for joining this today. Thank you and goodbye.